Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today, and thank you for joining me on Way Back Wednesday. This is the day when I remake an old video project and I remake it in modern papers. So today's project is this one. This is my fold over box tutorial that I did in, let's have a look, February 2014, so a couple of years ago now. And I did it in, I can't remember what the name of that paper was, but it was cute. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to follow my own instructions, which is, this is what I put on my blog and this is what you all see. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to work from this so I get to do what you do. Okay, so let's put that over to one side and hope the phone doesn't tilt around. And this is the box. It's got a magnetic closure there. And I'm going to say, if you're going to use this box to gift to children, please don't use magnets, particularly young children. Use Velcro dots or maybe a brad or even a ribbon, something like that. But please don't use magnets. But that's how it goes. So you can open it up. You can fit all your goodies and treats in there. Close it over. Very sweet, and it's just sort of kind of got a nice finish to it. So I'm going to show you how to make it, and you can get two from a sheet of cardstock, which is a jolly good job because I have just messed up the first one and I'm refilming. So your piece of cardstock measures 5.5 by 6 inches, which is 15 by 14 centimetres. On the long side, I'm going to give you imperial measurements first, but I will do metric again, and on my blog will be all of those instructions repeated on this one. And there'll be a direct link in the description bar. So on the long side, we're going to score it at 3/4 of an inch, 2 3/4, 3.5, and 5.5 inches, which in metric is, I've lost, I can't see them, 2, 7, 9, and 14. And then you turn it round, and we're going to score it again at 3/4 of an inch. And at 4.5 inches, which in metric is, can't see it, 2 and 11.5 centimetres. I'm so used to working off notes, handwritten notes. Okay, so we're going to fold and score and burnish the score lines. And we're actually going to put the box together because we do the DSP bit after the box has been built. So keep folding all of these. Okay, so with your box, you're going to have a wider section and a narrow section. Now the narrow bit is the bottom, that's the top. The cat's just walked in and she's coughing outside she's just coughing at the entrance to the office door. And then you've got the left and right, you've got a wide one and a narrow one. Now the narrow one is going to go inside the box, and that's going to be the out of it. So the smallest part is the bit you want to remove. So I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, and then cut up these ones as well. So that is the box. So this is the wide part, narrow, narrow. Okay, and they've all been separated. So put your box together before we put the DSP on. I'm going to use my fuse. So that's my back. So I'm going to fold in the two sides and the back. I'm leaving this one, which is the front. Oops. And then just pinch these ones a bit. So this is the top half. So just pinch a little bit. Don't worry if it brings it down, but just pinch it a little bit. Now, my designer series paper, let's get my notes back up. Right, so this is 1 3/4 of an inch wide and it is 12 inches long. So if you're working in metric, it's 4.5 by 30 centimetres, and this is the English Garden designer series paper. Now there's no scoring because we're going to use our thumbs and the shape of the box. And what you need to do first off is, this is the front of the box. Can you see this score line here? Position it a little bit under so that you get 3 matching borders around. Press at the bottom and keeping hold of that. Keep going round, keep pressing. Oops. And just gently pressing. And then at the top I'm pinching and I'm going to fold over. So that's me. That's essentially my scoring guide. So I'm just going to reinforce these now, these thumb score lines. And this final one. And when I come to lay this back over, you will see that it is going to fit absolutely perfectly there and there, and the box will close perfectly as well. So before I stick it together, I want to round the corners of this longer part. And then I just want to put adhesive down here. Do not put adhesive on that bit, and don't bring it too far up there, but snail will do. But we definitely don't want it on there. So, starting kind of at the bottom, gently lay it on. And just keep following round. And that is going to come over like that. So what I want to do now is put my magnets on. So I've got these ones. These are neodymium magnets, 8mm by 1mm. And you can find them from Spider Magnets and Guy's Magnets on eBay. And they do deliver all over the world. Whoops, that's how strong they are. In the UK, it takes about 24 hours to get them. You can order them one day and they'll be with you the next day. Overseas, I know it takes about a week, and they are crazy strong. Super strong, but they are thin, which is what I was after. I want thin magnets, thin, strong magnets. So I'm just going to put those out of the way. Now, what you need to do is take some of the strength out, and you can see I've got some cardstock there. So I'm just going to reinforce it, and I've got my little 1/2 inch circle punch, a bit more of the rose red. And the first thing to do is stick the magnet to the bag. So I'm going to use mini glue dots, and these are strong enough, despite the strength of the magnet, they are strong enough. So I'm going to put that where I want it. One of my circles over the top. Snap another magnet on, and that tells me that I've got the positive and the negative the right way around, because the last thing you want is magnets that repel each other. Mini glue dot on the back of there, and I'm going to bring this over and position it, very gently peel them apart, because I want to put my finger in. So my finger is now behind the magnet, and I'm just pushing it on, well, really very firmly on there. Another glue dot on the back of this second circle and over the top of that, and again I'm going to push down, and that will mean that my bag will close. It won't pop open, but it will stay closed, because the last thing you want to do if you've got really strong magnets is to have it rip your beautiful decoration. So having the cardstock means that that doesn't happen. Okay, let's finish off with a little bit of stamping. The You're So Lovely set, I have used so, I mean, look at it, it's so badly stained, but it doesn't affect the stamping, but I love it. Love this set. And I've got the scripted word that says enjoy your day. Some rose red ink. I went with Lost Lagoon on that one, but I decided I would go rose red with this. So with it, even though it's the same paper, with a different colour cardstock in the background, I think it looks different. Word window punch, because it fits perfectly. And then I've got my itty bitty accents punch. So I'm going to have 3 flowers. And I'm just going to do some sponging. So I've got a sponge already done, ready set up. A bit old and battered now. I'll just sponge around the edges of all these flowers. It seems to go with the English garden paper. I wish my English garden, well actually it's a Welsh garden, but I wish my garden looked like that. I'm English but I live in Wales, so technically I suppose I've got a Welsh garden. And it doesn't have flowers that look like that at all. Okay. Elevate these, so the back of my paper piercer, apparently an SD card, because this is the obvious place to store it, on my sponge mat. Some basics pearls in there. Runaway pearl. turn those over, and then I want the edge of my dimensionals. You can see what I've been cutting off the edges because the word window is just a smidge too narrow for a whole dimensional. So if I just take off the edges, I A, get to use them, and B, they're the perfect size. So in the middle there, and look, it fits perfectly. Didn't plan that at all, that was pure fluke. And then mini glue dot onto the back of my flowers. Have one up there, and there, and one there. And that is my Way Back Wednesday fold over box, which is very sweet, I think. I like it, and they were popular a couple of years ago when I made them. And yeah, it's been nice for me to see what they look like modernised. Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me, and I hope to speak to you very soon. Bye.